Dear students, we are in the third and the final part of the topic mental retardation. So, benign neoplasm. Benign means which is not the tumor, which is not going to grow in size. It is going to be in the same size. So, if it is going to grow, it is going to become fatal. So, this possibility of the child becoming mental retarded does not exist. So, malignant neoplasms we no need to discuss about mental retardation. So benign neoplasms, tumor inside the brain, leading to whatever is the area which is affected, how that area is going to affect learning process and intellectual capabilities. Diseases of the blood such as severe anemic children's, sickle cell anemia, thalassemia, all those kind of many blood related conditions which may affect the function of the brain, leading to dysfunctions affecting learning process and thereby intellect. Endocrine, nutritional and metabolic, many number of metabolic disorders and endocrine your system is affected, the hormonal system is affected, affecting the growth of the brain and also affecting the autonomic nerve system, all the system which does not allow proper learning process and affects the normal developmental achieving developmental milestones. Such kind of many conditions are going to be affecting this. Disease of the central nervous system, all of you have studied whatever disease we have studied throughout, all the hydrocephalus or anomalies of the central nervous system, and then cerebral palsy, all the genetic conditions, any genetic condition which is leading to all those kind of Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, malformation, Arnold-Chiari malformation, Dandy Walker syndrome, Fragile X syndrome, many syndromes, all genetic conditions affecting the mostly affecting the brain. So that will affect the intellect. That is, intellectual disability may be happen. See, disease of the eye. Why? Because eye, if there's a blind, the child becomes congenitally blind. What we call as cortical blindness, congenital blindness, any kind of mild blindness also will affect the learning process of the child. So learning process will affect the intellectual capability. Diseases of the circulatory system, it is mostly related to any circulation. Basically, we are talking about any carotid or any circulation to the brain is affected, or the cerebral circulation is affected. So this will the MCA territory, PCA territory, ACA territory. So any vascular disease which is going to affect the brain, again there is going to be infantile hemiplegia and the other cerebral palsy, or traumatic brain injuries. All those are going to affect the brain, and naturally it is going to affect the child's intellectual capability. So disease of musculoskeletal system, most of the time any conditions seen in children's, congenital talipes equinovarus or scoliosis or kyphosis or any other kind of condition, osteogenesis imperfecta, or these condition very some rarely you can see that it is affecting the because of the ability to learn, and because the child's social activity is reduced, they may also become part of the mild mental retarded group. So those were the associated medical conditions. Now coming to the sorry, coming to the treatment area, treatment or management, a team of professionals uh, working with parents to write an individualized family service plan. So all this what we are talking about is what WHO is insisting. I don't think in India we do have such a capability. Only in recent times we have some associations and welfare organizations who are able to do. Otherwise, the team of professionals are never going to visit the family and going to write a individualized family service plan is only possible in developed countries. In a country like India, we don't have it presently, but some areas, some organizations are able to fulfill this. The child's specific needs and what services will help the child thrive in the society. Early intervention may include speech therapy. So early intervention should be incorporated, mainly speech therapy occupational therapy, physical therapy, family counseling, training with special assistive devices. Nutritional services are very, very important. Better nutritional health for proper nutrition supplements for the development of healthy brain. Here, medical management. I have given only what directly medical management affecting the mental retarded patient is only giving some nutritional supplements to for the proper development of healthy brain. Otherwise, all the other medical management is for the other conditions. As we have seen, any associated cerebral palsy management for cerebral palsy, Down syndrome management for Down syndrome. In musculoskeletal conditions, management for musculoskeletal conditions. When that will improve automatically and synchronizedly, the mental capabilities also will intellectual capabilities also will improve. So treatment for CVA, if cerebrovascular accidents are happening, to further prevent, so medical management to prevent any further stroke or any CVA in the children's. So it may lead to cerebral palsy, and different severity of the cerebral palsy may increase. When the severity increases, so it's going to affect the intellectual capability also. So medical management means management of all the associated conditions which we have earlier mentioned: epilepsy, autism. So medication for all those epileptic medications. If you control the epilepsy properly, the brain, the post epileptic, what you call as post-ictal problems will not happen. So post-ictal problems are affecting the overall capability of the brain. So not only motor but intellectual, cognitive, speech, everything is affecting. So medical management will focus on treatment related to all the primary causes for the mental retardation. In speech language therapy, to improve both sensory and motor speech, to improve learning process. So speech therapy as a language therapy has a main important role to play, because during the early developmental phase, the speech therapist with a good knowledge about handling mentally retarded children's, they can help the child to improve their learning process through various techniques. Most effective for mild and moderate. So mild and moderate cases with good speech therapy treatment, they can usually, in a good special school, they can usually, improve a lot. Occupational therapy to improve the activities of daily living, occupational needs, which is age appropriate, meaningful and purposeful task oriented activities which will be very interesting and the child will be involving, and also the child's intellectual capabilities and the IQ quotient will improve. So it will be improving IQ and improving the overall learning process of the child. Special educators and special schools, special teachers for teaching each subject. Dyslexia. So most of the children are having learning disabilities. So teachers who understand learning disability, dyslexia, mental retardation, and other conditions also, other associated by primary medical conditions, and they know how to teach these children. So those kind of special education is a very, very important for these children to have a improve the quality of life. Physiotherapy, coming to our area, intervention treatment is focused on, we'll take one by one. Milestone development. So basically for the children, motor and sensory milestone, we have to take very good care and to do the check all the neonatal reflexes, primitive reflexes, any abnormally persistent primitive reflexes, you have to check for that. Check, do a proper assessment, check the whole neuro assessment, pediatric neuro assessment, orthopedic assessment, to understand whether any abnormal primitive reflexes are still persisting. What is the functional level of the child, whether the child can do all the gross. So we have to check the gross motor activity, the level gross motor. If it is cerebral palsy child, you have to check the GMFCS, gross motor functional classificational system. That is classificational system which we are using, in which the 5 classifications of severity of the cerebral palsy is there. Then we have the GMFM measure 66 and 88, that is gross motor functional measure, which is a measuring system of 66 and 88 activities which we have to check, and according to that we understand the functional level of the child gross motor. Then fine motor activity in the same manner can be understood to see the hand function, to see that whether the prehensile activities all are good. Without that, further learning process go to writing. So fine motor activities, gross motor sitting, good sitting balance, good sitting and good posture is very, very important for learning process to sit and to use the books, to hold the pen in the hand or pencil in the hand, to write, fine motor activity. Then higher gross motor activities such as running, jumping, hopping, swimming, all those kind of activities are very very important. That also will improve the overall intellectual capability, social capability, the physical, the mental, emotional capabilities all will improve through good play related activity. Lot of sports activity will improve the, and also it will improve the hormonal stability of the child, there thereby improving the healthy functioning of the, and it will control the autonomic and parasympathetic nervous system. The control will be good when the child is able to take part in good sports activity. Also it is helpful to making a lot of friends, and there will be the even though child's ability to speak well is not appreciated, but these kind of activities such as drawing, activity in a music, playing any musical instruments, or playing soccer, playing cricket very well, so this will give him or her a lot of friends, that in turn will help the mental capability of the child. The child's confidence level will improve. Now coming to the other conditions like cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, there is lot of muscular related, that is a muscle tone is affected, and lot of motor involuntary activities are seen. So those kind of activity has to be addressed. Even though it is mental, we are talking about mental retardation, because in mental retardation to children, the other conditions spasticity. So spasticity management, hypotonia, you have to improve the tone. Athetosis or choric athetosis or ataxic kind of muscular activity seen in cerebral palsy, or in ataxia, also seen in Down syndrome, hypotonia, general, in decreased muscle tone. So here normally whatever physiotherapy treatment, neurodevelopmental therapy, or any kind of approaches like such as roots approach or Brunstrom or any approaches we are adequately required, appropriately should be given. Prevention of musculoskeletal deformities, because these deformities, for example, deformities of the spine, scoliosis, kyphosis, lordosis, all those things going to affect the posture, and then automatically is going to affect the confidence level of the child, the ability of learning and to participation. So you all of know the participation and activity is very important in our understanding the any problem of any when you try to improve the quality of life, participation and activities are very very important. So prevention of musculoskeletal deformities, preventing the deformities improves more function. Improving more function means improving the scope for the child to experience lot of activities, social and psychological, so the child will become more happy and confident, and thereby also improve the learning skills. Maintaining general health as mostly affects fitness. See, fitness is an important area. Because most of the children mentally retarded, if they are not socializing, what will happen? They will secluded to one same confined to their own room. That is not good. So that will affect their overall general fitness, cardiovascular and musculoskeletal fitness. So that also has to improve. So physiotherapists have to give a lot of exercise, related prescription treatment plan, and fitness testing can be done with respect to the mental retardation. Whatever precaution we have to take, we have to take that. Whatever support we have to give, we have to give that. Then other things are usually we will be prescribing assistive devices such as wheelchairs, crutches, elbow crutches, or canes, sticks, or sometimes assisting such as pen strap, hand strap, spoon strap. Then corrective devices are such as splints or any kind of other correction of deformity in for other correcting the deformity will help a lot for this children. Supportive devices means giving support for calipers, like supporting for the back, your scoliosis you have corrective also supportive, that is Milwaukee brace or any kind of Somi brace, those kind of devices which is supportive. Also some devices are supportive for sitting, also utility tables, good utility chairs, supportive chairs. Then mobility devices such as walker, already I told you, wheelchair is assistive as well as mobility device. And nowadays, importantly, the mental retarded children are using performance enhancing tech device, smartphones, smart TVs, So they can use smart technologies for easily. The command is very simple, and the children can enjoy the normal life. So management of primary condition such as cerebral palsy, genetic syndromes, and musculoskeletal disease.